Hi, Sean.
Hi,
Welcome to
what's
the
up?
podcast. Thank you for
Thank,
coming.
thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm great.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah, I'm in a good mood.
So, I'm going to jump right in.
Shoot.
You're not just a lawyer, you are an entrepreneur, right?
hmm
Who is Sean Christopher Castle?
I like to say I'm a creative first. Yeah, and a problem solver. And I think just those two things as my foundation have like brought me where I am now, to be quite honest. Uh, I think I'm resilient. Uh, I just kind of manifest things sometimes. Things just work. You know,
Love that.
you know, I fight to make things happen, but out of the fight is an internal fight. You get me? So it's like, should I do this? Should I go left? Should I go right? But usually for me, things always work out. To be
I
quite
love that.
honest, and so
So, I understand that this isn't your first entrepreneurial venture. You're
In-
now a managing partner at Cardinal Law.
yeah.
So where did this start? Where did this interest in entrepreneurship start? Why couldn't you have just worked at a law firm?
I think it's just my nature, right? I mean, I have parents who grew up working in, I won't say, but they grew up working for people, right, or for the government or what have you, and I saw that, and they did well, did pretty well up to the point where they're retired and started their own business or businesses in their fields.
Love that.
But for me, I think my nature is just wanting to do my own things. I'll see people who employ people do things a particular way, and I'm like, I think this can be done better, right? I think you can treat your staff better. I think your systems can be better so you can serve your clients better. So you have less stress as an individual. And that's or if it came to when I used to do events, how we could market the events in a different sort of way, find new themes. When I was in, and I still am in marketing, it's just coming up with the ideas, it's structuring the company, structuring the proposals, that kind of thing. I think it's just internal. Really, it's just a natural thing, and I've always wanted to just not have to really answer to somebody who I don't necessarily agree with how they're running the show. But I'm a big team player, but I'm always gonna be like, this is how I think we can do this better. And if I see that you have that kind of struggle with yourself, not taking on the suggestions and so on, I'll be like, I can't be a part of this team. So I really started off with, I would say, I think everybody in Jamaica kind of starts off doing events. Everybody do a party at some point.
I'd also did a party.
Exactly, right? Everybody did parties at some point. And I was pretty decent at it. If I continued, I could see myself, growing more in that. But I went to law school. I was first accepted to UE for marketing.
Really?
Yeah, because those were the two things I had applied for. And to be quite honest, one day my father looked at me and said, look here, you don't need a marketing degree to be a marketer, really. But you need a law degree to be a lawyer.
That's fair.
So I was like, you know what? That's true. Because all the persons who I used to look up to in the event space, in marketing, or a good amount of them, some were engineers by...
Yeah.
Engineers.
That's so funny.
Some of them went to business school, not marketing school. Some of them did tourism, but then they became brand managers or like have huge events across the country, across the Caribbean. And I was like, you know what? Let me do this law thing because, them always say you seem like an advocate and the way I think critically about certain things. I said, all right, I'll do it. And did that. Came out of law school, said, going the routine where I just working for somebody. But there was always something inside where I was just like, I want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And then what really pushed me was COVID.
I was about to ask if there was a defining moment.
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah, COVID, man. I caught COVID.
Oh.
I caught COVID early on. So what really happened is that I was gonna quit my job. I think it's the first time I'm telling this story publicly. I was gonna quit my job in like
Exclusive.
yeah, I guess. I tell my friends and people who know me now, right? So I was gonna quit my job. I would say probably the January I started contemplating it, or maybe the year before. And in the February, I wrote my resignation letter. And I said I was gonna deliver it. I think I told my senior at the time, said, look here, it's not gonna work out. And they kind of said, think about it some more. I was like, all right, cool. And then I think the day before the announcement of COVID, I was gonna hand it in. And then COVID was announced that it was here, and I was like, let me go and collect a paycheck. Because, I don't know what this thing is. Yeah, so let me go and collect this paycheck. And then I was there until probably this September. And then I caught COVID in between. And I caught COVID and it was bad. But the vaccine was worse.
Really?
I don't know if you can say vaccine on this thing. You might have to bleep it. Right? No, man, they might. Yeah, but anyway, so it's like, for
As
me,
in your
that was even
reaction.
worse.
Yeah.
It mashed me up, lied on my face for like 2 days. Can't I had to go back to my mom's house.
Oh, Mom.
Yeah, for her to take care of me. And after that, I was just like, I'm not gonna die or something, knowing that I've never actually tried doing this thing on my own. And that was it. I just quit. And my virgin accepted me to share an office space with him. And I moved from that to having my own small space where another friend kind of bust me in a space of a building. And then from that to moving to a larger space and then inviting my now partners to share in the space. And then after a while, we kind of said, why don't we? It's like we've been dating. Why we don't just get married?
Really?
And just now we have a partnership.
I love
And that's it.
that.
And that's why I'm here now. We've been doing this for almost 3 years, and I don't regret it at all.
I love that. So you are surrounded by creatives and business owners. What are some gaps that you see on how they protect themselves legally?
All right. Some people might know who I'm talking about them, but let me just say it in this way. Creatives know what they're supposed to do. They know what they're supposed to do in terms of their contracts, in terms of doing the business the right way, but they tend to not do it for some reason. And I'm not even talking about just one person. I just think it's just them in general. And that is why creatives need to have management.
Yeah.
For the ones that can have management, right? To deal with the business aspect of stuff for them, and they need to listen to them and so they can guide them. So contracts are one that just from basics, so from having a management contract, from having your services contract, whether you're a performing artist or if you're what do you call this artist that paint? I don't remember right now. Like visual artist and that kind of thing.
Anywhere you fall in the creative field.
Yeah, anywhere you fall in that space, you need to have your
contract.
services contract. Start at least that. Because creatives have a problem getting paid.
Yeah.
Right? And then sometimes it comes down to a he said, she said kind of situation. And sometimes not even the fee is defined anywhere at all. They don't have it in a WhatsApp conversation. They don't have it in an email. They don't have it in nothing.
Yeah,
and it really ends up being
that.
bad for them. So that's one. 2, structure. So let's use recording artists, for example. A lot of them do business as individuals. And there is no separation between them and the entity through which they collect their money or manage their assets through. So a lot of the times you'll find that they'll get paid, and when they get paid, they're getting paid in a personal bank account. Some of them don't even have a business bank account, right?
Yeah.
And so they don't know that you can create their own management entity that owns their assets, owns their songs, that kind of thing. And it makes their life a lot easier for them, you know, owns whatever contributions they have towards songs or beats and that kind of thing.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, a lot of them don't, and we'll advise them and say, you know, this is something that you can do. You know, when you're getting paid, you get paid through a business account. You don't get it in your personal account because then that has different tax implications. You can even register an entity overseas. So when you're getting a lot of your money, you get a lot of your money in an overseas bank account. So if you're performing in the major markets, which are like the US and the UK, you can have the promoter or the label or whomever pay money into that business bank
which
account.
Is way easier.
Way easier and just better for you in terms of tax planning. You see the deep side. It's like, you know, like something like you realize something. So they don't do that as well, and it's concerning for me as a creative, but it happens so often where, and this is gonna lead into just their life planning. So estate planning is what we call it in law in terms of the structure. So when you die, where does all the assets that you created go?
Yeah.
You know, and you see a lot of them, their estates end up in problems where the family is fighting with this label over here, with this producer over here who said them own this song. There's no documentation, they barely have split sheets. The collection agencies that's supposed to be collecting like their performance rights monies for them all over the world and so on, they just don't have none of the business done right. And that's for artists. And then you can also do that if you're a visual artist. You can do that if you're a young business person. So if you're a business person, right? You know, in Jamaica, you have the difference between a registered business name and a limited liability company.
Yeah.
A lot of people start out doing just a business name, not knowing that it's still them one in the same.
Yeah.
So it's Chanel trading as Koined Digital. But they don't know that it doesn't limit their exposure.
Yeah.
In the event that, knock on wood, you know, Koined gets sued. You know, it's not you, and you have your personal assets separate aside from the company's assets. All these cameras and everything can be owned by the company.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes after you, they can't. And it's something that we do at our firm. We can win, like beat you in a case, not you per se, but just the person on the other side. And maybe we don't come after like the stuff that you use as your tools, but we come after other assets that your company owns. You have or you, if it's you personally, we find where your bank accounts are, and we freeze your bank accounts. And we tell the banks, here what, they can't remove any money below the amount of $5 million. So $5 million has to be in the account until we settle this thing. And then I get a court order for that money to just be paid out to me so I can give it to my client.
Wait, what?
So, yeah.
I like that, Sean. But real.
It's just the work. There's no personal nothing behind it, but it's just the work.
No, for sure. I think, let me tell you, that's usually something you see in movies where somebody just somewhere and then all of a sudden somebody freezes their assets. So it feels so far off.
No,
so
man, it happens, man. It happens. We free.
But they don't show you on Netflix exactly how that happens.
Yeah, and it's not as fast as like in Netflix.
Yeah.
So on Netflix, you know, they see them just slam down a paper and it's like,
man.
that's it now. We have a whole court process, a whole application process. So,
well, that's complex.
So business people, if you're exposing yourself, if you're a car dealer, if you're, tell me some other service like that's out there.
Car dealer.
There's so many services. Something that's popular nowadays, for instance, what you call it, like body modification people.
Okay, yeah. So aesthetic medicine.
Like aesthetic medicine and stuff like that. Structure your business in such a way because you do have exposure to liability.
For sure.
Right? There are cases out there right now. I guess they're just not as popular in the media.
Yeah.
Where people mash up people's bodies, you get me?
Yeah.
And they get sued.
Yeah.
But they have the personal exposure as opposed to the exposure where the company is a separate thing.
Yeah.
So
essentially you're advocating for people to treat their business like a business and don't just, so not to kind of step away maybe from being a sole trader and to protect your assets by registering as, for example, like a limited liability company.
Yeah, I love how you just translated all of that.
Yeah.
Because
I do this for a living.
Yeah, right? I love how you just translated all of that because, I mean, one of my partners, Abuna, he's the one that like heads our commercial department, and so he'd be great to be here and to talk on that. But of course, I know a good amount about it as well. So I won't really get into the nitty gritty of company structures and so on. But if you're keeping it surface level, treat your business like or a company like a real company. It's not as something where you just say you're getting up and hustling, right? And one of the reasons why a lot of people go for the registered business name in the first instance is because it's cheaper.
Cheaper, yeah.
Right? I think it's probably less than 10 grand to register a business name.
Yeah.
Whereas you're probably looking at probably over 30
to register a company,
to register or to incorporate a company, right? So those are the pitfalls. I mean, just on the surface level, we can talk about it somewhere. I can just ramble on and on. So.
Quick shout out to the folks at iPrint Jamaica. They're the ones behind the bold, eye-catching billboards you've been seeing across the island for the pod. They're all about trust, service, and impact, and they help brands show up exactly where it matters. If you're ready to level up your next campaign, just click the link in our description or head on to iPrintGroupJamaica.com and let their team bring your vision to life.
The Koined Insights podcast is produced by Koined Digital, our in-house team of creatives, strategists, and storytellers. We don't just create content, we build brand ecosystems, podcasts, and campaigns that drive real engagement. If you want to produce something like this, or better, tap the link in the description to book a discovery call, and let's build something together.
This episode is brought to you by Rock Hotel Kingston, the heartbeat of downtown. Whether you're here for business, creativity, or just the view, Rock gives you the space to relax, recharge, and create. Think rooftop energy, city culture, and unmatched vibes. Ready to experience it for yourself? Book your next getaway online.
Take a second to subscribe and share this episode with someone who's ready to level up. It helps more than you know and lets the algorithm know that these conversations matter to you.
So when I'm incorporating a company, right, for example, so say I am a recording artist, visual artist, whatever, I'm a creative or just a professional I want to now turn my hustle into a legitimate business, right? What are some considerations that I should have when I'm registering that business, especially when I'm, for example, partnering with somebody? So say me and two friends of mine decide we're gonna come together and we're gonna sell here, for example. So we're forming a limited liability company. What are some considerations we should have? So for example, when you go to company's office and you register the company, you're just gonna pretty much do all the standard stuff. But what further than that can I do to protect myself and to make sure that the company is protected and all the parties are protected?
Cool. So there's three main aspects of when you incorporate in a company. You should have directors, shareholders, and a company secretary. Right? You can have one director, a shareholder, and a company secretary. Right? Meaning you can be a director and shareholder in your company, but your company secretary has to be a separate person. Right? Now, if you and your three friends are starting this hair company, one of the first things you want to think about is voting rights and direction of the company, right? Who can sign documents on behalf of the company? Because remember, a company is it's an entity that's directed by individuals. So we call it like a legal person. So it's a person.
Yeah.
You guys, as the directors, direct the mind of the company.
Yeah.
So, is it that all three of you are going to be directors in the company? Or is it that one of your friends who you're doing this business with is just funding it? So they don't know nothing about the hair game. They don't know the
nitty-gritty.
The tracks different from the wig and the I know a little thing. So they don't know them. They don't know that differently, but they just have the funding for it because hair apparently is expensive.
Yeah.
So they're like, I'll just be a fund. But do you want them to be a director? You could make them a shareholder, for them to share in the profits of the company. But do you want them to be able to sign bank documents, sign contracts and so on behalf of the company? So that's something to think about. If they're the ones that are funding it, are they going to be a greater shareholder in the company than the other two? You don't know, especially if they're just putting a startup capital in.
Yeah.
What gives each of you as individuals your entitlement to the amount of shares that you're getting in the company, right? Because remember, shares lead back to profits and profit share, right? And the ownership of the company itself, and if you create IP about it and that kind of thing, often if you don't have sub-documentation to speak about like the creation of things in the company, or I was going in the direction of shareholdings, shareholders agreement, then the presumption is really that if you own a company 33 and a third, then everything that the company owns is going to be split that way, unless you have a shareholders agreement.
So it's essentially like when you get married, and if you don't have a prenup, you just get whatever the government assigns to you, essentially. It's just assumed. Similarly. So at least if you have a
the starting point is like a 50-50 split, but then you have things that kind of help the judge
to make things a bit more clear.
And just to say, even if you don't have a prenup, there are certain things you can you can have discussions before you guys get there to just decide that, if you're splitting, this is something for like Sarah's the who deals with our divorce stuff, right? There are many ways to do this without having to go to court if you're getting a divorce. But let's keep on track in this kind of thing. But so it's something like that. So shareholders agreements are important. You can have partnership agreements, and then you can remember that, like I said, similarly how somebody can be a shareholder but not a director, you can have somebody who's a director but not a shareholder, and you pay them a director's salary, separate and apart from profit share. And that happens every day. Like in big companies, you have people who are appointed directors of companies,
True.
but they don't own. It's like they're not like a large shareholder in the company, that kind of thing. So that's something to think about. Even in the having a shareholders agreement, you can have something that dictates how you act as partners separately. Because some businesses need rules around how you act amongst yourselves as partners.
Okay.
Separate and apart from how you act as shareholders in terms of a shareholding agreement. When you have it, you're talking about what if somebody wants to sell their shares? What if somebody wants to exit the company?
Yes.
What if there's a conflict between two of you guys or three of you guys, and you decide you want to dissolve the company? What if one person says, oh no, but I want to stay and keep the company? How do you treat the IP you created? How do you treat your confidential information, your private stuff, like client lists, like proprietary stuff that you acquired? What if your thing eventually grew that big where you start to have your own links to factories in wherever the hair is made? Who keeps that information? What's the value of that stuff? So that's some of them, or one or two of the.
Those are great considerations, actually. Some of those. Actually, most of those, I don't think most people would even think about that. They would just register the company and just kind of keep it pushing.
Yeah, and most people do,
Yeah.
Most people do, I think, because they just don't know.
Yeah.
And they just, if they decide to consult a lawyer and a lawyer says, well, this is my retainer to do this, or it's my fee to do this, they're just like, I can't pay that right now. So they just don't until things get bad. And then that is when they bring the lawyers in.
What's a common misconception that people have about protecting themselves professionally?
They feel as though if you insist on having a shareholders agreement with your partners, they feel as though you're kind of preying them or you're preparing for problems. I don't know why people tend to have that kind of negative thing. It's like them say, like, if you ask for a prenup, they say, oh, so you want to get divorced.
Exactly.
You're planning to get divorced.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's just preparing for the inevitable sometimes, and the inevitable is conflict. You get me?
Yeah.
The inevitable is conflict. So people have that kind of aversion to protecting themselves because they feel as though they don't want to have the hard conversations. That's what they don't want to do. So they don't want to have that hard conversation with their business partner who may have been their friend.
Yeah.
I know we always say business and friendship don't mix. Well, that's not really true, right? To my mind. And so they feel as though, all right, you and your friends say, oh yeah, let's do this here thing together. And you say, all right, but hold on. I am putting the money, so we should really put the shares 60-40. Or I am the one with the business acumen that knows how to, direct the company a particular way. So I need more voting power than you. You know?
Yeah.
We need what do we do in the event of a stalemate if we decide to do 50-50? Do we have a third person who we bring in to break the stalemate? People just don't want to have that hard conversation. So people in Jamaica, you find people don't want to do wills because they feel like once you do a will, they're going to dead. Right? That's what people think. It's true.
So Caribbean for real.
People afraid of those things. People don't want to do prenups because then things say, oh, you're planning to get divorced. But that's, I guess, around the world. People don't want to have shareholder agreements with them friends. They don't want to have the artists don't want to, in the studio, don't want nobody pulling out split sheets. A split sheet is about who owns what in the song. Because song can be split up in different parts. So they don't want to do that because them say kill the vibes in the studio.
I'm sorry?
Things like that, right? So, but then they end up in conflict after the fact. And then that's when it gets bad. But you see, if you lead sometimes by having the hard conversation, it removes that, it kind of prepares you for the emotion. Right? So, I mean, me and my partners, but I guess because we're lawyers and we used to having conflict, we talk and we talk through the problems. You get me? We're just like, I will meet and we say, guys, this is what we're doing. You know, we have partnership agreements that we drafted that we have to go through. We have intense discussions about certain things. But I guess because we're the ones that people call for the problems, we kind of know better how to address issues between people. So, long-winded answer, but I kind of...
No, man, I love it. We touched briefly on, just estate planning and how I guess in our culture we kind of have an aversion to actually having wills and doing estate planning, which is so funny because so many families fall out because nobody can figure... Everybody will fight over the dead left land. For my international viewers, dead left land is...
exactly what it is. Land that somebody died and left.
And they didn't... What?
They didn't structure it. They didn't do the business in the right way to allow it to transition to wherever they intended for it to go. And there's this TikTok that I love, There's this TikTok where them say, me looking at the house that my uncle not talking to my father about, or something like that. And you see them in front of this mash up whole house, where lean up like this, and you're like, at least everybody there fight over for generations.
Yeah, man. Guys, dead left land is a very serious something like families split up.
People get threatened over it, say if you come over here, I go dead. Don't stay a foreign. Cause I'll kill you if you come out here. Stuff like that happen. Right? So you were saying?
So what I was saying was, what would you say to a young person whose thought process is, well, I'm young, I don't really own anything. Maybe I have a car and I just maybe have some money in the bank account. I don't think I have assets. I don't own multiple houses and I don't have multi-millions. When would you say someone should start thinking about estate planning realistically?
As soon as you start to acquire some assets, or you're going to get something from a family member before you, right? So, I mean, there's something in every will that's properly drafted that's called like a residuary clause, right? Which means that anything that I didn't properly describe in the will to say, this chair must go to Chanel and this table must go to Omari, whatever it is that says anything else that I own, split it between Chanel and Omari 50-50. Or split it in this sort of way. You can do your will and just have that to just say, anything that I own. So you don't know what you own yet really. You can say, anything that I own, give it to my one youth 100%, like my one child. And you never know, you might be in the hospital, but you decide to scratch and win thing and you win $1 billion.
True.
And then you're dead the next day and then this $1 billion now.
Wow, just floating.
Just floating around. You could just have a car,
Yeah.
And sometimes, I don't think people even know the headache it takes to have to go through an entire probate procedure to get a car title transferred. It's already hard enough to transfer a title. Jamaica, the seller and the person have to be there at the same time to stamp out the title and one bag of headache, right? So imagine a car that's there and it takes, we don't take that long at our firm because Sarah is the boss with those kind of things, plug. But it's just the truth, she doesn't know her thing. And it's a whole headache, man, you have to go through the court so let's say this car don't even value that much, right? Let's say it's an old car that your uncle left, but he just want to get rid of it or realize some value in it and sell it for scrap or whatever. And now you're gonna have to go through this entire court process, apply to the court, take probably, if your lawyer is good, between 4 and 6 months to get all the, if your uncle left a will, to get the grant of probate or the letters of administration, if they didn't leave a will, to go through all of that just to be able to sell the car. 4 or 5 months. Sometime if there's some hiccups there or somebody said they want the car and it's not you forget the car, it can take years.
That's annoying.
Yeah, there may be mixed up with your uncle name and you have to. There's so many problems, but so early. Start doing it early. Just do like a one thing and have something so in the event you leave anything, it can be directed in a particular way easier than
For
ways.
someone starting a business or a brand, what's one thing that they should do legally from the start?
A business or a brand.
Yeah. So I guess
You mean like them on their own?
Yeah, so you're starting a business, so whether it is that you are the only director, you have multiple directors, whatever it is. If I'm starting a business, what's something that off the bat I need to consider? So before, I know we touched on, if you're starting a business with, multiple directors, etc., we need to have a shareholders agreement to kind of agree on
Here's
that.
the thing, if you're starting a brand, to me, you're starting a brand, the value of it is zero. Unless I guess you have some big last name already. But if you're just like a person that's just coming out and you have a common last name like Brown and you decide to call it, I don't know, Brown's Accessories or, I wouldn't tell you to go through a bag of legal expense if you're just saying I'm starting a brand name, Brown's Cups. Build up some equity in it first.
For sure.
Because there are other laws that kind of protect you. In terms of as the creator of this thing, and then after a while you spend the money to protect it. If you believe it's something proprietary,
you say, yeah, man, this is big.
And this is a never before done thing. Like they've never made cups that you can fill via Bluetooth before. As you create this technology, then you can say, boy, let me go over to my intellectual property office, which in Jamaica is Jaipur, and protect this thing and do the patent and that kind of thing, right? But otherwise, if you're just starting something off, my thing is just start. One of the things I say, and some of my partners don't like when I say something, and I mean business partners outside of just the firm, is there, I don't remember, I think it was a saying in like Silicon Valley where you're supposed to just jump off a cliff and build a plane on the way down.
I've heard that.
Yeah, that's my kind of approach to a lot of things. Just start the thing. So, I mean, just starting, I'm just being very frank with it. If you're just starting off a thing, incorporate your company, yes. But outside of that, don't look to spend no one bag of money doing nothing else. You can probably have a lawyer and retainer just to advise you. But, I don't know. I really don't know what else to say about that.
Okay, so I'm going to touch on a topic now. So, a lot of people are moving towards, or a lot of people think they can fully replace lawyers with AI. Right? All right. So, what is your experience with that? What's your experience with that? Where perhaps somebody would have used AI and they've kind of just left themselves completely unprotected.
Yeah.
What?
Something I've been seeing recently and even just hearing about in recent times from my colleagues is somebody will draft a contract with AI and will just want to pay you to just like, hey, can you just review this song because, just review this song because, I think it has everything that I want.
Yeah.
And then, they just want to pay because they want to minimize their legal fees and minimize the time that it takes for them to get it. Because sometimes if you ask a lawyer to draft something from scratch, especially if it's novel, it may take a week or 2 weeks, as opposed to with AI, you just plug in all the prompts and it give you something. Right? I don't think a lawyer can ever be fully replaced by AI in as much as a barber can be replaced by AI, because or a mechanic, you know. I mean, maybe more so a mechanic than so, but I can YouTube how to cut hair, but I'd never sit down and try to cut my own hair.
Real.
You get me? At the end of the day, I wouldn't start cutting my hair and then go my barber for fix it. I better prefer just pay the barber to deal with it. But I'm a different kind of person.
Yeah.
You know? So, in some aspects, maybe lawyers will be replaced. You know? But then, as AI becomes more of a
Standard.
you know, a standard, you're gonna have areas of law that are related to it, which
For
you've already
sure.
seen.
Yeah.
You know, just in terms of even just regulation of AI is an area that we have to look at. There's certainly an aspect of data protection there that comes into play with that, in terms of, you know, you're taking maybe your client's personal information and putting it into this random AI generator, that kind of thing.
And AI is like, listen,
This is mine now.
This is mine. Yeah,
Right?
your data is
You
not
know,
protected.
Right? And so I don't think it will ever replace. I think the best thing to do with AI is to use it to make our lives easier and better. So, and I think I did post something like Instagram last night or something before, where I was saying, use it to make you better. It's not something you can avoid.
Yeah.
You cannot avoid it, right? Lawyers have a thing where if you're in litigation, they have a database, like a case database, that's called LexisNexis. You have another one that is called VLex, right? Or Justice. And that's where all the cases are. When you wanted like some deep research, you want to find some case from like 19 or long. And they have AI integrated in their things now, right? Where they will even help you to an extent to craft your arguments.
Oh,
right?
wow.
But not like write it for you, but they will say, okay, then these are the areas that you're looking in. Here are some cases. This is the summary. We think these are the key points in this case that came out, and we think you can use this excerpt in your submissions to the court. So rather than having to read a 40-page case or a 50-page case, which you still should, all the same,
A lot of pages.
at the very least, it will give you maybe key quotation from a judge on a particular point. Yes, you should still read for more context, but and of course these databases are trusted databases by the profession at large, but you should still read it for yourself so you can be certain that this thing works. You know, a lot of the times people Google start if you can't afford to pay for these databases because they're not free now. I mean, I pay probably about, I think it's like £2,000 a year for LexisNexis, right? And I don't remember how much we pay for VLex, right? But that's something that I've been paying for when I was a sole practitioner, meaning before I had my partnership with my partners. And, you know, it's something that I invested in. But people who don't have it start off by Googling it first, because you have the Supreme Court website where the cases are available for free. So people will Google, let's say, I don't know, breach of confidentiality in the workplace case, Supreme Court, Jamaican. You know, just putting some random stuff in Google. And even now, Google is giving you like a
AI summary.
Summary of certain things through their AI, which I think is, what's it called again? I remember.
Oh, wait.
Copilot is Windows.
I just always see the generative AI.
Gemini.
Gemini.
That's what it is, right? I think so. I mean, it gives you that little summary up at the top, anyways. You get me? If you're just Googling what is breach of contract or something like that, some basic stuff, it's gonna tell you, and it may even give you in a Jamaican context and how it's treated.
Okay,
so it's not something you can avoid.
Okay.
But I still don't see you going to court and presenting in front of a judge, making arguments in front of a judge.
Definitely not.
Right? Because there's still certain skills that you need when you're advocating. There are certain, what do you call those things now? I'm just not
Soft
finding
skills?
words for so. It's soft skills, or I don't know.
What are soft
There's
skills?
certain terms that we use to indicate things to judges.
Yeah.
There are certain mannerisms. You know, the way you're supposed to conduct yourself in court, the way you're supposed to dress.
I was
the way you're
actually
supposed
about to ask,
yeah.
like, what's it actually like
Yeah.
being a lawyer? Because the most I know
Yeah.
is from How to Get Away with Murder and them show there, you know?
Yeah,
And Suits. And you're just like, yeah, man, I think, yeah, man. So people would watch that and be like, okay, yeah, man, this is all it is. All right. We can do that.
No. I watch TikToks about that. And it's funny. I'm a TikTok tete. Man. I watch TikToks hard, and it's like, I don't know. To me, it's just me because it's so natural. Every day I wake up, that's what I do. I'm a lawyer. So it's as much as a doctor gets up and says they're a doctor, or a show host says they're a show host. I don't know how to live outside of it, really. You know, so that's just what I do. But to your AI thing, imagine having to do something as simple as you need to use the bathroom and you're on your feet. You don't just say, Judge, I gotta take a piss. You get me? You might say, Judge, might this be a convenient time because there's a certain thing that I need to do, and they'll ask like how much time you need, counts, so that kind of thing, or they'll pick up through code that, oh, this is what he needs to do. All right, we'll
Certain code.
Certain codes. You understand? There's a way you're supposed to address the judge. There's a way you're supposed to introduce the matter, and it's not a script. It's just something that you just know. So I don't see it happening, but maybe it will. You never know. You know. Stranger things have happened because back in the day, they probably tell us say there was no way for machines to assemble cars, but look there now.
Fair.
You see me? So.
Do you think that people are still afraid to lawyer up, or do you find that people are shifting away from that?
It's happening more nowadays. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. You know, it's people are lawyering up, but I think a big deterrent to it is costs. And that's one of the things that AI kind of is helping with, because you will have people being able to, or lawyers being able to provide their services at a cheaper level now.
Yeah.
Because it takes them less time to do certain amount of work. So yeah, people are lawyering up a bit more. I mean, the smart people are doing it in terms of knowing that, seeing the problems ahead, and let me try and avoid these pitfalls because I've seen it with other people before. So you will have people call and people say, you know, I need a lawyer, more retainer, you know, until they tell them the price, and then they're like, I'm so call you back. Right? They say I'm so call you back. But those who can afford will, and you know, and we try our best to assist in whichever ways that we can. You know, and there are different ways of getting lawyers now. Because you have the services can be provided in different ways, as opposed to retainers. You have what we call like a la carte services, where all right, if we have to build this table, you pay me as we complete each stage of the thing. Stuff like that.
Okay, I like that.
So
what's a hard lesson that you have learned, A, as an entrepreneur, B, as a lawyer?
Document everything. And I think that applies to both things.
Yeah.
And
Everything in writing.
Yeah, you won't be able to always document everything, but document the key points. I think that goes for both things, because even as an entrepreneur, you may have an idea when you just wake up or when you're in the shower and you didn't write it down, and by the time you come out of the shower, happened to me a lot. Sorry. It probably has happened to you.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
You know, you ever have an idea before you go to bed, yeah?
So actually, my dad gave me a hack for that. He always keeps a pen and a notepad right by his nightstand. So I've started doing that, and it's actually been really helpful.
Yeah, well, I use my phone.
Yeah.
I always say I have like I'm pretty sure I have a couple $1 billion in my phone.
In your notes app.
In my notes app, and I just write stuff down. I have ideas from years ago, you know, and because the note I might lose it. So maybe what you do is you wake up in the morning, you write it back down, right?
No, you say it stays there.
No, meaning
so I would transfer.
You transfer it to your phone. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I do that. I do that, but my penmanship isn't that great, so sometimes I might sketch something down and not even I can read it back. So I don't know. I not even I can read it back sometimes. So yeah, documenting everything is one thing. Another hard lesson is trust your gut, trust your instincts. You know, there have been times where I've made people talk me about certain things, and then I look, somebody else is randomly doing the idea. You know, there's this saying, you ever heard this thing where there was a thing where I think Michael Jackson was like, as soon as he got an idea for a song, he would go and record it because he wouldn't want the idea to go to Prince.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the concept that ideas don't belong to any of us. They kind of just visit different people, and if you don't
Yeah.
act on it, then it's gonna go to somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of have an act now kind of personality as well. Let's just at least start the thing, see what it is, what it's hitting for, and if it don't work, it don't work. You know. And one more thing is, don't dim your light for nobody. You know, like, have you ever, and I hate to get into this thing that like I call like humble politics, but have you ever, somebody would have be like, yo, you need to, the way you speak sometimes might be a bit jarring and thing, and then you're like, okay, I'll kind of temper it down a bit, but then you realize that it wasn't necessarily a you problem. It was how the person was receiving what you said.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people just don't like to hear a certain message from a certain person. Right? So if, for instance, maybe you and a classmate, you're in class together and you tell them, I really think, and I'm just making up this scenario randomly, so it's gonna take me a while. They would be like, yo, I really think you shouldn't ask so many questions in class because you kind of throw it off for the rest of us or something like that. And then no, but the way you learn is different from how the other person learns. And I'm not by saying any means you should deliberately disrupt a class, but maybe you learn better by
Asking
a question and clarifying certain things for you so you can be certain, whereas they may just read and get it.
Yeah.
So you know, decide, say, boy,
I'm not gonna ask no question.
and they say, you do that to your detriment. Because now the things now click for you as it used to. You know? So I've stopped. Let me tell you a thing. I remember a long time ago, not so long because we are young people, but when I was like, before I was probably even a lawyer, and I was expressing to some senior lawyers how I think law practice should be structured, because it kind of just made sense. And they're just like, you don't know what you're talking about yet, because you're not in the field, you're not really, out here like that. So I think one of the things I said to them was, why don't some people just have strictly this practice? Like, you're just a strictly real estate attorney. Or why don't you guys break up your practice areas a bit more, even though you're a small firm?
Yeah.
Break up the thing a little bit more where, at least, yes, everybody does a little bit of the same stuff, but have somebody who specializes in a particular thing.
Niche down.
Niche down. I think it would reduce your workload and your stress, because this person might get something as soon as they see a problem. It might click to them in an hour, as opposed to you, it might take you 3 hours.
Yeah.
You might be better able to serve your clients in that way and reduce your stress. You get me? So that's another hard lesson I learned. And another thing is, as a final thing, try your best to reduce your stress, because you might feel like you can do anything and everything, and you probably can, but it's just a toll that it takes on you when you try to do it. You get what I'm saying? So I try to not. My job is stressful, innately stressful, but I try to not stress over things as much as I used to. There was a time when I had to call my brethren, who is a doctor, because one day I was just in my office when I was really doing my solo thing, and just randomly my vision started getting blurry. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, and I was telling my wife, I messaged my wife at the time, who was my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time. Yo, babe, I don't feel good. She said, what happened to you? I said, I don't think I can even see what's going on right now. Luckily, I had a couch in like a small part of my office, and I said I was going to lie down on the couch for a second, and I called my brother, who's a doctor, and luckily him said, yeah, yo, she just called me a while ago, and luckily he was like right around the corner. And him come check my man and said, bro, and she said, stress out, your blood pressure like high.
Wow.
And so since then I've learned to like manage certain things, not take on certain matters anymore that I feel like is gonna stress me out too much because your health is. I think that's what I'm getting at. Your health is of utmost importance. And so since then I've started prioritizing my health even more. Because what's it worth doing all of this stuff and trying to, you know, win and have a firm and make money and you can't even get to enjoy it.
You can't enjoy it, yeah.
So those are those good things. So the might have to chop down the clip them for that part.
No, I think those were all great points. I think to your point about not dimming your light for other people, it's a very important lesson that we have to learn to consider others, but not live for them. So,
I like that.
of course, we can consider how my actions make you feel, but if at the end of the day it's to my detriment, I can't live for you.
And if you're not really hurting nobody.
Yeah.
Right, Shana? If you're not hurting nobody.
I mean, this doesn't apply to serial killers and stuff.
No,
like that, obviously. No, but as I said, guys.
No, dimming your light can be put in different contexts.
For sure.
Right? But no, not like that. Not
But
like
that's not
that.
a point
No,
out,
not
you know.
negative. No, we don't do negative vibes around here. But if I think so many talents have been lost and people have gone into a box in life because somebody dimmed their light. So somebody would have probably said, you probably have a youth who could have probably been the next greatest reporter or podcast host, and somebody else up on him one day and say, you chat too much, man, you chat so much. And from then him just stopped talk as much, and so he didn't get to, shine. It could have been a situation where, I don't know, a youth was probably gonna be the next big football player, and I mean, people might take this a certain way, but he probably wasn't gonna be the best in academics. But then, because of parents trying to guide him in a particular way, said no, you have to go to school and you have to learn this and you have to do. They didn't
own the talent.
Yeah, so you have to do this, and now the youth who could have been like a great baller is now. I don't want to call him a particular profession for making it seem. He's not the great person that he could have been.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And so that's how dimming your light will affect people, or dimming your light for.
You dim your light, but eventually you rob the world of something.
I love how you just put these quotes together. My quotes are usually like, I come up with them and I tweet them. You see me? So I tweet them. You cannot just come up with them. You can put them together like that.
Thank you. So it's a gift, I guess.
Yeah. I come up with them style. Let me tell you when I come up with like those kind of quotations when I'm in court.
That's a year thing.
Yeah, I come up with like them little quotations in court. So I remember the other day a judge had to like contain themselves and not dead with laugh because the person on the other side was like seriously lying, and we could see through their documents that they filed, which we call affidavits, and they had like conflicting affidavits. And I said, I don't know if I said something like, and that is why judge them say, when you lie, you have to lie good. You understand? I said something like that. It's not so funny, like no, but I said like, when you lie, you have to lie good. And the judge, I saw the judge like holding them lips together.
Hold it.
Them have to hold it, and that's when I come up with like them little bad style. Like, so this is your zone, so you're coming up with them right now, right?
As we wind down, I'm gonna ask you a few quick fire questions.
Quick fire.
Yeah. So just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Sure.
What's the best investment that you have ever made? Doesn't have to be financial.
In myself. Trust in myself. That's an investment. Trust in my judgment. I think
good.
That's the new thing that the girl them do now, don't? I mean, clock.
Yeah, man, clock it.
Yeah, right? So, just trust in myself. Because people try to put fear in you sometimes. So. You say you want a short answer, so I'm not going to chat too much.
No, that's good. That's really good. That's really impactful.
I just trust myself, man. Trust me. Because I don't think I put my heart to it, can't reach. Or where I can't reach it. Like, so I just trust myself. So I have serious trust in myself. So, and it goes into my work. It goes into just my everyday decisions. I trust myself 100%. Like once I make up my mind about something, I say, and I don't feel no sort of doubt about it. I just go. So I just invested in like the self self-confidence, like self-trust. Like once I know, say, yeah, I feel like do this, I do it, and it works out for me.
How do you think somebody could invest in self-confidence and trusting themselves? Like practically.
Know yourself. Like, really don't be too delusional about things. They say delusion is good enough. A little bit of it is
A
good
certain
enough.
level, yeah.
A certain level of it is good, but know what your talents are, know what your skills are. Right? So, and know how much you're willing to be honest with yourself, know how much you're willing to actually put into something if you want to get better at it. So don't be like, oh, I want to be the next greatest singer, but you know you're not willing to do all the voice training and do the research into your area, right? Yeah, if you trust yourself, if you know what you can do and what you can't do.
That's good.
I think that's what it is.
That's
right?
good. Okay.
That was the second quick fire question, or?
Well, actually, no, it was a part B. The
Oh,
second one
yeah.
is, what is one belief that you held 5 years ago that you no longer hold today?
That I have a saying. Your address shouldn't be a prison. So I don't mean like people judging you where you come from. I mean in terms of the world is not here. Right? The world is not here in Jamaica. And we see it so much more now in terms of you can literally sit in your bedroom and make money from anywhere
Yep.
around the world, right? So there was a time when I used to think like, all right, I love use anecdotes, you know. So you ever see like people who become successful but they don't want to move from where they live?
Yeah.
Them don't want to move, them want to be the boss of where them grow. So you'll find where people make money and come from a particular area and they're like, yo, no, I want to build my house right here.
Here,
So,
yeah.
right? So to put the belief in a nutshell is like, I think where I used to think, this is where I am, this is where I'm gonna do it, this is where I'm gonna make it. Not knowing that you could have moved and make it elsewhere. You get me? I don't know if this was 5 years ago, but probably more than 5 years ago, like I changed schools. You know?
Really?
Yeah, I changed schools. When I was in high school, I changed high schools because I was just, quite frankly, I didn't think at my previous high school there was anything more there for me. Right? And so I had bridgings that were switching schools and I switched schools as well, right? And I think that's a great decision that I made. I think that's probably where a lot of the trust thing started. You know? Because I remember my JC interview, when they were the transfer interview, I did all the talking. My mother never done none. In fact, I think I just got up one day and I told my mother, Mommy, I'm changing schools. And she said, what do you mean? I said, I'm changing school. Can you drive me to... They're doing school interviews. No, my parents always gave me that amount of kind of latitude in life, you know. And I said, Mommy, I'm changing schools. So what do you mean? I said, I'm not going back to this school September. So I'm not going back. And she said, no, what do you mean? I said, I'm just not going back. I'm done. You get me? And I just literally, when I was walking into the interview, I think they were closing off interviews and I think the dean was there. I think the VP was there for the school. This is Jamaica College, by the way. I think what you call that person that's responsible for the form?
Form coordinator.
Form or something like that. You know, they were there and the school captain was there. Right? And I walked in there and they said, yeah, we're done with interviews for the day. And I said, nah, I'm coming to JC September. And I was like, what do you mean, we're done? And did you even apply? I said, no, but I have my application form here. I'm coming to the school September. And I spoke to them, I told them what I did, I showed them, I think I have like a school report or something. I don't even think I had a report. I told them what I did. And I left there with a JC tied in my hand. God knows. God knows. That's what I did. Right? So, you know, I lost the plot of what we were talking about. I'm kind of rushing. But, yeah, so I like to... Yeah, so your address is not like a prison. So I've changed office locations 3 times in the past, like 5 to 6 years. And thankfully, you know, my clients stayed with me and thing. But I said to them, yo, I need to move to a bigger space so I can serve it better, so I can be in a better mental space, so I can have more staff. So I got up and I left. So I moved from sharing an office with my brethren, you know, big ups to him, to my next brethren take him into a small office, give me a side of a building, right? Because they had an office for a whole building, and they gave me like one side, that's the smaller side. And I built that out for myself. And then I moved again to my previous office, right? And I was there for like 2 years, and then that's when we formed the partnership. And then I said, guys, we're moving. You
I
know?
think something that we can take from this is don't stop moving.
Don't stop moving.
Don't stop
Yo,
moving.
she bad with them thing, you know. She bad with like a raffle kind of thing, right? Yeah, she's bad with it, man. And I say, oh, you marry her, Omar. She kind of, she's like the messenger. Yeah, she bring everything together, man. I do that on paper.
Yeah.
I do that on paper. I bring it together on paper, you know. But on the fly, I don't have musical gems like
it's
I
okay.
have.
It was great having you, so that's fine.
We finish with the quick fire questions.
Oh,
so
man,
good
last
then.
one. Yeah, man, you're good. You had a good time.
I had a great time. We should do this more. Like I said, we could record for like hours and you guys just chop it up and find some stuff in there. Because I realize sometimes the more I talk is I get these little gems like you. But on the fly, I just talk.
Well, we'll be around for a while.
Yeah. Maybe next time I'll do a podcast and you guys come on.
I mean, why not? Thank
If
you
I
so
find the
much.
time. Thank you for having me, man.
I mean, if you are ready to produce a podcast, you can come to Koined Digital. We do this here. You can visit our website at www.koineddigital.com and book a discovery call. Thank you. Yeah.
No problem. Plug your stuff, man.
Thank you
But
for
thank
coming.
you for having me, man. Thank you, guys. I really like this setup. I think it's...
What?
Oh, me?
Yeah, what's your name? We can find you, Sean.
Oh, so so I'm Sean Chris Castle on all platforms. It's SEANCHRISCASTLE, and that's on TikTok, Instagram, X. I was about to say Twitter, right?
I mean,
any other platform yet? On LinkedIn is LinkedIn / Sean Chris Castle.
yeah. What's your business
And
name?
my law firm is Cardinal Law, and we're on social media. I think we're just on Instagram now. At Cardinal Law JA. That's CARDINALLAWJA, as in the first two letters in Jamaica. And you find us on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
Yeah.
See you
I
again.
wasn't slouching too much, bro. I was looking at the camera with this and it's like my belly.
Sean, we're still recording here?
Like a belly shrink.
Give-
When you come to me, slouch, I got a bit too comfortable. You say?
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you guys for joining us on this episode of Coin Insights. Bye.
Oh, God.